What happens when you mistakenly ring the doorbell of someone's house? A simple greeting of confusion by the house owner, where you apologize for ringing their doorbell as you have the wrong house, and you both go your separate ways, right? Well, for 16-year-old Ralph Yarl, this innocent mistake would have unimaginable consequences. On the late evening of April 13th, 2023 in Kansas City, Ralph Yarl was tasked by his mother, Cleo Nagby, to pick his younger twin brothers up from their friend's house, as they were invited to a sleepover, but they weren't allowed to actually stay the night. When Ralph set out on his journey, his destination was a house on 115th Terrace, but he accidentally went to a house on 115th Street instead, and unfortunately, he didn't bring his phone with him. In an ideal world, Ralph was just supposed to stay outside after ringing the doorbell, and his younger brothers would greet him outside and they would all go home, and that would be the end of it. However, this world is far from ideal. It's cold, it's heartless, and cruel. In reality, an unarmed Ralph was greeted by 2 bullets instead of 2 brothers. 1 bullet in the head and 1 bullet in the arm when he was already down from the first one, with only a locked glass door separating him from his attacker. Ralph, who is described as a fantastic kid, is also an honor student, member of the Metropolitan Youth Orchestra, and a talented musician who can play multiple instruments. But unfortunately for young Ralph, the homeowner whose doorbell he rang is named Andrew Lester, an 84-year-old white man who apparently feared for his life when seeing Ralph stand at his doorway after ringing his doorbell. After being shot, Ralph went to 3 houses nearby before someone finally helped him call the police, but only after he was demanded to lie on the ground with his hands up in the air. After those conditions, that's when they called the police and they got medical help for him, and he was transferred to the hospital. Upon being questioned by the police, Lester recalled being scared for his life once he heard his doorbell ring, so he picked up his gun and approached his front door, which is where he saw a black male standing at his doorstep and thought it could be a burglar, and he just started shooting. After being initially detained, Lester eventually was released only hours after the shooting.
During a press conference Sunday, KCPD Chief Stacey Graves says it's a possibility Missouri's Stand Your Ground law could serve as a defense for the homeowner.
Missouri is among some 30 states with the Stand Your Ground laws, which permit the use of deadly force in cases of self-defense. However, prosecutors are determined in their stance that the shooting was not in self-defense.
It's the castle doctrine that applies to defending yourself at home.
If somebody does enter your house and they place you in reasonable fear of unlawful force, you can respond with deadly force.
So this teenager would have had to go into the house and give this person who shot him reason to believe that his life was in danger.
Or was in the process of going into the house.
But simply ringing the doorbell?
Well, ringing the doorbell is not breaking in.
Just to remind you, Ralph is a 16-year-old boy, 5'8", and no more than 170 pounds. He was also unarmed, by the way. Just to be 100% clear, what Lester did is despicable, and he needs to be brought to justice for what he did to this innocent and unarmed child. But let's just say that we play devil's advocate for a second. Do you think that Lester's defense team could argue that it was 10 p.m. at night, he's an elderly man, 84 years old, and he genuinely felt scared because someone was standing at his door late at night? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. According to Lester's police reports, Ralph reached for his door handle, which is when he shot Ralph. However, according to Ralph's testimony, he was just waiting at the doorway for his brothers. Lester's grandson, who has publicly spoken out against his grandfather's actions, stated that Lester holds racist tendencies and beliefs, and that the grandson wasn't shocked when he learned of what his grandfather did. Now that says a lot. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think that Lester would have opened fire if, instead of a black boy, there was just a young boy of any other race? Would he still be claiming self-defense then? I think it's incredibly scary and sad to think that one small mistake of just ringing someone's doorbell by accident could result in someone getting shot and potentially killed. I remember the days of being a kid when we used to play ding dong ditch, just innocent fun with my friends, annoying our neighbors and intentionally ringing their doorbells because we had nothing else better to do. It seems like those days are long gone, and children nowadays, especially children of color, have to be extra careful just being, where the color of black skin is seen as inherently scary, violent, and aggressive, no matter the age or circumstance. Ralph is making a miraculous physical recovery, where he's been discharged from Children's Mercy Hospital to his home. But I can imagine that the road to emotional and mental recovery will be a long one for him. According to his mother, Ralph is able to communicate and is doing considerably well, but mostly just sits there and stares, and the buckets of tears just rolls down his eyes. This is such a traumatizing event for anyone, let alone a child, to go through. And I hope he gets the therapy and support that he needs, as well as his family members, of course. Ralph is receiving so much support on social media, with people from around the world standing up for him and rallying together in unity with him. I'll link the GoFundMe down below that's been set up to help his family pay for his medical expenses. And to date, it's raised $3.4 million so far. It's amazing. As for Lester, he's now been charged with 2 felony counts, the first being first-degree assault and the second being armed criminal action, which carries the potential sentence of up to life in prison. During his arraignment on April 19th, he's pled not guilty to all charges. Lester has now been released on a $200,000 bond and is set to appear in court on June 1st, 2023. If you have any suggestions of true crime cases you want me to cover on my channel, then just comment them down below and I'll try my best to cover them. So thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one.